consultant for Fortinet at Redington Gulf. So thank you all for joining us. We'll be waiting for a couple of minutes more before we start. Okay. So just a brief. So about myself. So I'm currently handling the Fortinet product portfolio at Redington. From the technical or the pre-sales point of view, I handle all the products of Fortinet. Uh, I'm also currently NSC 8 return certified. I'm also a Fortinet certified trainer. And in today's session, I'll be taking you through uh, the configuration or a live demo of Fortinet SSL VPN with two-factor authentication. Okay. So I'll be showing you how to connect two-factor authentication, how to configure two-factor authentication, how to incorporate it with SSL VPN. Then also I'll be showing you a concept of a remote AP. Okay, I will take you through that, but it's a very interesting thing. So it's basically a Fortinet access point, which can be pre-configured and sent anywhere across the globe. Okay, and it can directly connect to your FortiGate anywhere on a public IP or on a domain, and the clients connecting on that remote AP can directly reach to the LAN. So no need to dial a VPN or no need for any endpoint configuration. Okay, or no need to install any client. So we'll see both the strategies of remote working, that is VPN, and the remote AP, and we'll discuss. If you have any queries, you can share your queries in the Q&A section, and we'll take it from there. Also, please stick till the end of the session. We have a short quiz, and post that there's a surprise gift as well. Okay, so whoever wins the gift, our marketing team will get in touch with that person. So please stay tuned, and I hope the session will be helpful, because from the technical point of view, and if there are any sales guys, I'll also tell you some points which will be beneficial in terms of selling the product to the customer. Okay, and okay, so currently it's 3:02 p.m. As per UAE time. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes, and we'll start sharp at 3:05. Okay, so thanks a lot, guys. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, we'll be starting with the session. So those who have joined us very recently, like in the last couple of minutes. Uh, so just a brief introduction again. So I'm Josefa. I'm the pre-sales consultant. I handle all technical related queries, POCs, demos, everything from the pre-sales point of view, from the technical point of view for Fortinet at Redington Gulf. Okay. So I will just, before we begin the session for remote working with VPN and remote AP, so I will just explain you the setup. Okay, I'll just increase the font size so that it's visible properly. Okay, perfect. So I have a system called as local windows. The IP address of the local windows is 10.0.1.10. There is one FortiGate called as local FortiGate. The IP address of the local FortiGate is 10.0.1.254. So this FortiGate is the gateway for this local Windows system. So any traffic that is generated from local Windows will go to the gateway. For internet traffic or for any other traffic, it will go to this particular FortiGate. This is the gateway. So on the FortiGate, the WAN is terminated on port 1 and port 2. Okay, so we'll be using only port 1. So this is just a reference so that you understand what is the architecture. I will also take you through the FortiGate console. Then the LAN port, that is the local Windows network, it is connected on port 3 on FortiGate. Okay, so the WAN ports on FortiGate are port 1 and port 2, and the LAN port that is connected to this local Windows, it's connected on port 3. So it's a very simple setup. Okay, we also have a Linux system. So Linux system is just acting as a internet router. So the local Windows, okay, goes to the FortiGate. So FortiGate is the gateway for the local Windows, and this Linux router is the gateway for the local FortiGate. So the internet links for the FortiGate are terminated on the Linux router. Okay. So on the other side of the Linux router, we have a remote Windows system. Remote Windows system. Okay. And this will be our VPN client. Okay. So this will be our VPN client. So we'll be configuring the VPN on local FortiGate. This VPN client across the internet router, which is as good as coming from internet outside client. So this client will try to connect this FortiGate on port 1, which is the WAN interface, and will try to access the local Windows after the VPN is connected. So this is the brief about the setup. So you can see I have all these VM instances running. So there is local FortiGate, there's a Linux, there is Linux local Windows, there is a remote FortiGate, and there is a remote Windows. So remote FortiGate is nothing but it is just acting as a gateway for the remote Windows. Okay, its sole purpose is to just send the traffic to the Linux router. It is doing nothing else. Okay. So for our setup, it is not much relevant. Okay. So this was the brief about setup. So now we'll go on to the local Windows system. From the local Windows, I can access the FortiGate on 10.0.1.254. So we can see here. Okay, we'll just see. Okay, so we have 10.0.1.10 as the Windows IP. And if we go here on the network, so here we have port 3 as the gateway for the local Windows. Then we have port 1 and port 2 as our WAN interface, and we also have configured SD-WAN for our WAN load balancing. But for VPN, it's not needed, but just for internet traffic, we have this SD-WAN configured. So now we move on to VPN. Okay. Now remember, there are 4 steps to configure VPN. SSL VPN can be configured in 4 steps. We'll go through each and every step. Okay. So first step is to create a user or a user group. Okay. We'll create a user. Let's say local user. We'll just give any username and a password to this. We can also integrate with a remote authentication server like a LDAP or Radius. Okay. So the user credentials can also be matched there. We can provide a user email ID if required. Okay. Now, if you notice in the previous tab, I'm not enabling two-factor authentication as of now, but we'll definitely enable it. And also alternatively, you can put this user in a user group. Okay. So the first step is to create a user or add the user to an existing user group. So our first step is done for creating users, or very well, I will just create a user group as well. So I will just name it VPN users. Okay. And I will add this user in this group. Okay. So we have the first step completed. We have a user and a user group ready. Okay. The second step is creating a portal. Okay. An SSL VPN portal. So portal is nothing but whether SSL VPN will be browser based or tunnel based. In tunnel based, you need a client, that is FortiClient. Okay. So we'll be creating a tunnel based VPN and web mode VPN as a single VPN. So either you can have a tunnel mode VPN separately, so only client can connect. Either you can have web mode, that means the VPN can be connected only via web browser, or you can have both enabled in the same. So the user has the choice of connecting the VPN. But tunnel mode is like the best recommended way. So it is as good as the client is sitting in the office itself. Okay. But with web mode, every communication is with the browser. Okay. So we'll see that as this VPN as, okay, Red Demo VPN. Okay. Redington Demo VPN. Now we have split tunneling enabled. Okay. Split tunneling enabled, as the name suggests, it splits the tunnel. So splitting the tunnel for the corporate traffic and for the internet traffic. If we are splitting the tunnel, so only the corporate traffic, that is your intended traffic, will be sent out via via the VPN. So here I am saying I only want to send 10.0.1.10. Sorry. So this is saying I only want 10.0.1.10 network traffic to be sent over the VPN. I don't want any other traffic to be sent. So all other traffic will go from the client's normal internet, from its Wi-Fi or whatever internet connectivity he has. Source IP pool is the IP address that the client will get. By default, the FortiGate comes with an IP address range 10.212.134.200. Okay, till 210. This can be modified. You can use a separate range, or you can increase the range from 10 IPs to more. But we are using the default one. So apart from this, you can give some client base settings, whether the client should be allowed to save password, whether it should be allowed to connect automatically or keep connections alive. So we'll keep this things as it is. And web mode, we can select the theme. Okay, what will be the theme of the browser when it connects? So we'll um, so green, blue, I don't know which all colors are there, so let's try any other different colors. So let's see this. Okay, well, the administrator can also create bookmarks for him to connect. So we'll see how it can be connected via bookmarks. Okay, so that's it. This is the second step done. So configuring the portal. Okay, portal, you are saying whether split tunneling is enabled, what should be the client's IP address, whether tunnel mode or web mode should be enabled. So it will take less than few minutes, not even 5 minutes it will take to configure the VPN portal. Now the third step is configuring the VPN settings. Here we are mentioning which is the interface on which VPN will work. Okay, so this interface will be the WAN interface, right? So clients will be coming from the internet, right? So we have to select our WAN interface, which in our case is port 1 and port 2. If you want redundancy, you can add both the ports, but in this example, in this demo, we'll just see one, that is port 1. You can also change the default port. By default, the VPN works on 443. You can change it to any other port, 10.443, 9.443, 10,000, 20,000, whatever. If you consider the default HTTPS port as a security risk, then you can use a custom port. So now you can see that our web link is 10.200.1.1, which is our port 1 IP address. Okay, and 443, which is our port which we mentioned here. So if we change it here, you can see the link changes. Okay, so we'll use 10.443 just to be just to be more secure, not using the default HTTPS port. Here we are saying restrict access, means do I want to allow access from any host or do I want to limit to specific host? But since we are allowing all the connections from internet, the client might have any IP, right? He might have any public IP. So in that case, we cannot restrict. So we'll say allow access from any host. Okay. And the most important part here is mapping the user to a portal. So if you have multiple portals, multiple user groups, so this is where you are mentioning that if VPN users, if any user from this group connects, he should get this particular portal. Okay, other users, you can say don't have any access, or you can say only web access. So here in the settings, one of the most important point is authentication and portal mapping. Now each and every user will always go to this particular IP address, right? They all will hit this particular IP address. How the FortiGate will know when one user connects, which portal he should be allocated, when the other user connects, which portal he should be allocated. So this is done by this authentication and portal mapping. Here we can map a user or a user group to a particular portal. So here we are done with the third step. And the final step, you can see there is a warning, okay, on top. So to complete the SSL VPN configuration, we need a SSL VPN policy. So we'll just click here and it will automatically take us to the portal, to the policy page. Here we'll say SSL VPN to LAN policy. Okay, here incoming interface is LAN and outgoing interface will be our LAN interface, which is port 3. Our source will be SSL VPN tunnel address. Here this is the IP address that we'll get when the client is connected, when the tunnel is created. So you see this red error. So it says one user or user group is required. So SSL VPN policies are authenticated policies. So there should be a user or a user group mentioned. So we will select our user group, VPN users. Our destination is our local LAN, which is 10.0.1.0. our service, we can restrict service whether we want to allow just RDP or FTP or ping. So you can restrict the services. I will say all. Since VPN is a point-to-point connection, we don't need netting, and we'll just say monitor all the sessions, enable this policy. You can also enable security profiles, antivirus, and so. Okay. So this is done. So VPN configuration is done. So you can see with the explanation, okay, it just took 15 minutes to configure. Okay. It should hardly take 5 to 10 minutes to do all the steps. So what were the 4 steps? Creating a user. Second, creating a SSL VPN portal. Then creating SSL VPN or configuring SSL VPN settings, where we mention the port, the interface, the port number, and the authentication and the portal mapping. And the 4th step is the policy. Okay. There is an optional 5th step which we'll see later on. Okay. So now our VPN is configured. Now we'll go to the remote Windows system. We'll configure SSL VPN. So the FortiClient is already installed. We'll go here. We'll configure VPN, SSL VPN. We'll just give it a random name, VPN SSL. And remote gateway is 10.200.1.1, which is our WAN IP of the FortiGate. And custom port 10443. Okay, prompt on login. But before I connect to the VPN is configured, okay, but we have not yet connected it. So let's try pinging the remote, the local Windows system. It says we are not able to connect, right? So now we'll connect the VPN. Okay, the VPN should be up shortly. Okay, so you can see connected to VPN SSL and the ping has started. Okay, so this is done, and here we'll do a trace route. Okay, and here we'll do a trace route to internet. Now you'll see that the local Windows IP is 10.0.2.10, and it is going to the gateway 10.0.2.254, its own gateway, and it is going to the Linux router and going out from there. So it is not reaching, it is not going out through our FortiGate local FortiGate, which should be 10.200.1.1, okay, or 1.254. Okay, so you're not seeing it, that right, you're not seeing that particular IP address. That means only my my corporate traffic is passing through the VPN, and all the other traffic is going via my normal internet, my normal connection. So here you can see it is going to my tunnel interface, that is 10.200.134.200. But here it goes directly, to the other side, goes directly without going to the tunnel interface. Okay, the 8.8 internet traffic. So just keep this in mind. We'll see how we can change this. Now we'll disconnect our VPN. Now we all know that FortiGate, can have two-factor authentication with 40 tokens. Okay. Now by default, all FortiGate come with 2 trial 40 tokens. Okay, which you can test for your administrative users or for your VPN users. Okay, so there are 2 mobile tokens by default available in all FortiGate for trial purposes. So now how to use this token is you go to user definition and then you allocate a token to a user. So we are allocating a token to a user. At the same time, you can send the token activation code to the user via email or SMS. But your email or SMS have to be integrated, with the FortiGate for this. I don't have it integrated, so I will show you another method to do that. Okay, so I've assigned one token to this particular user. Now, how to activate this token? So I have this. I will go to the CLI. I will say config user Forti token, edit the token number. So I know that I had assigned the token ending with 69128. So I'll just enter it and I will say show full. So from here I will get this activation code. Okay, I'll just copy this and let's see whether I'm able to paste it here. Okay, perfect. So I'll just go back to my laptop screen and I will come out of the VPN session. Uh, so okay, this is the activation code. Now I have my mobile screen mirrored to my laptop. Okay, so here you can see my mobile screen which is mirrored. I have the Forti token mobile app installed. So I will just open that Forti token mobile app and I will say scan barcode or enter manually. I'll just click on enter manually. Now I can also integrate other third-party tokens, but now I know that this is a Fortinet token, so I will just click on Fortinet. I'll put an email address. Okay, and I will type this activation code here. Okay, not able to paste it here. Okay, we'll just enter it manually. So okay, so we'll say add account. Okay, so the token was added. Now you will see a black screen. Okay, but the token is successfully added. So this is a security feature where when the token is visible on my mobile device, it cannot be mirrored as a security feature. So I will let you know what is the token. Okay, while we are connecting to the VPN. Now our VPN user is enabled with two-factor authentication. Now let us see what will happen. Okay, when we now try to log in to the SSL VPN. Okay, so you can see this. It has now forced me to put a token. Okay, so I'll just just type it here. What is the new token? 715297. So this is the token what I am seeing right now on my mobile. So I will enter the same here. 715297. Okay, and now will be successfully connected. Okay, so this will get connected in just a few seconds. So We'll wait for just for that to get completed. So it doesn't take that much time. It is much more quicker. So we are just in a VM environment. That's the reason it's taking a little bit more time. So the VPN is connected. So we'll just ping, and we are able to successfully ping the local Windows system. Okay. Now I'll just disconnect this again. So the 4 steps that we saw were creating the user, creating the SSL VPN portal, configuring the VPN settings, and a policy. Now, I mentioned there is an optional 5th step. Okay, so the 5th step comes into picture when you don't enable split tunneling. Okay, so the 5th step comes into picture when I don't enable split tunneling. So I'll go to my VPN portal. I'll say disable split tunneling. That means all traffic should go to the VPN, even internet traffic should go to the VPN. So if internet traffic is going to the VPN, I should have a policy. Okay, I should have a policy from VPN to internet to allow the internet traffic, right? Otherwise, my internet will stop working on the client. So I will say VPN to WAN policy. I'll say incoming interface, my SSL VPN. Outgoing interface will be my SD-WAN interface. Source will be my SSL VPN address and SSL VPN user, because SSL VPN policies are authenticated policies. Destination will say all for internet. Service will keep it as all. You can restrict it if you want. And I can apply certain, security features if I want. Okay, so done. So the when you disable split tunneling, that means all internet traffic will go to the tunnel. Okay, even internet traffic. So in that case, an optional 5th step comes into picture, that is creating a SSL VPN to WAN policy. Okay, here we have this policy, which is SSL VPN to WAN policy. Now let's see how the traffic flows for the remote client when SSL VPN is disabled, split tunneling is disabled. So we are connecting again. So let's see, it should ask for the token again. We'll mention the token. So we'll just wait a couple of more seconds before the VPN gets connected. Okay, so the VPN is up. Now we should be able to ping. Okay, perfect. So now we'll also try to ping internet. Okay, we are able to browse the internet. We are able to ping on 8.8.8. Okay, so here, if you remember this trace route, okay, we are going through our gateway and our internet. If I'm able to mark this, okay, this is my local gateway of the remote client and my FortiGates, the remote FortiGates gateway. Okay, it is not going to the VPN. But now, after disabling split tunneling, let's try doing a trace route again for 8.8.8, and you can see it has gone to the VPN interface, that is 10.2.1.2.1.3.4, and it is going to my local FortiGates WAN interface, that is 10.200.1.254, and not 3.254, which is our remote FortiGates WAN IP. Okay, so here you can see even the WAN traffic is going via the FortiGate, local FortiGate. Okay, so this is for highly secured environment. So when if customers want that when the client are connecting to the corporate network, their internet traffic to make the traffic secured. So here you can see right now you're seeing 0 bytes. So let's see if when we refresh, if you see more traffic. Okay, see, you're seeing more traffic coming from that particular client. Okay, and last for the VPN part, what I wanted to show was the web mode VPN. So this I will just disconnect and I'll just enter our VPN address in the browser, that is 10.200.1.1 colon 10.443. Okay, so you will see this warning page, certificate warning. Just create an exception and you will see the login here. We'll enter the same username and password. Okay, again it is asking for token. So the token right now that I'm seeing is 554794. Okay, and I will be inside the portal. Okay, I'm connected to the web mode portal. Now if I try to ping from my command prompt, I will not be able to ping. Okay, I will not be able to ping the local remote windows, because as I mentioned, with tunnel mode, when you connect tunnel mode, it is as good as you are in the office, you are in the network. Okay, so if you want to ping, you just go to the command prompt and ping. If you want to take RDP, you will just say mstsc and you will take an RDP. If you want to FTP, you will just go to run and you can take SMB or Windows share, or you can do FTP or whatever, right? But with browser based VPN, all connections happen via the browser. So I will say go to quick connection. I want to ping, then I'll say 10.0.1.10 and it says 10.0.1.10 is reachable. Okay, okay, so it says 10.0.1.10 is reachable. So all communications will happen via the browser. Okay, okay. So this is it for the VPN part, guys. So any queries, we'll take it up in the Q&A section. So the VPN, we saw that we need 4 steps to do the VPN. The 5th optional step, when split tunneling is disabled, that is creating a policy from VPN to WAN. Okay, there are 2 tokens, mobile tokens, that we can use for trial purposes, and if you are satisfied with it, you can buy more tokens. It can be mobile tokens, it can be hardware tokens. So whatever is required by the customer, you can suggest that. Now the next part is the remote AP. So I'll just disconnect. Okay, I'll just disconnect my phone. Okay, because I'm getting some calls, so I'll just, now we don't need it. So now we'll go to this is our firewall, by the way. So okay, this is our Redington's firewall. So we'll log in to this to our firewall. So I will show you how remote AP works. Okay, so I have one of our colleagues from Fortinet. So there is an AP. He is already configured that AP. So we are not seeing the AP configuration. So in the AP configuration, you just have to mention the IP address of the controller. In our case, the FortiGate's IP address. Okay, so here we'll see So here I will show you how to configure remote AP. So the first step is you go to your WAN interface. Okay, you go to your WAN interface and you enable cap web protocol or cap web administrative access. Okay, here you can see on the WAN interface cap web is enabled. Usually when you want to manage 40 APs, your LAN APs or your corporate APs, you enable cap web on the 40 AP interface or the LAN interface wherever the APs are connected. So you generally don't enable cap web on the WAN interface, but since this is a remote AP which is connecting from the internet, okay, so we have to enable cap web protocol to listen on the WAN interface for any authorization for APs or any request from any 40 APs coming on this particular port. So that AP is just configured to connect to a controller on this particular IP address, which is our WAN IP address. Now as soon as that AP is configured, so it will start sending request, and you will see that AP under managed APs. All you have to do is right click that AP and say authorize. Okay, it is already authorized, so you are seeing it as online and up. Okay, so you can just authorize the AP. Okay, so when it is configured with the WAN IP, you will automatically see that particular AP connecting to this FortiGate and waiting for your authorization. So you just have to come to the Wi-Fi and switch controller, go to manage 40 APs, and just click on authorized. So you will see this particular IP, which is the private IP of that particular access point in the user's environment, in the remote user's network. Okay, but I will show you the logs as well from which IP this particular 40 AP is connected. Now the next step is if you are familiar with how to configure 40 APs and 40 AP profiles, SSID profiles, it's the same thing. So I have created an SSID. So the SSID is Red Remote AP, and it is a tunnel based. So this remote AP will always be a tunnel based access point. Okay, that means all traffic will come to the FortiGate, and Fortinet will decide what should be done with that particular traffic, whether it should be allowed, forwarded, or blocked. Okay. Okay. So the IP address for this interface is 10.192.168.100.10. We have enabled DHCP. So any particular clients connecting to that AP will get an IP address from this range, that is 192.168.100.2 to 100.254. And we have a Red Remote AP SSID, and the security is a pre-shed key. So this is the pre-shed key for the clients to connect. Okay, and that's it. We have created our SSID profile. We have 40 AP profile created where we are publishing this particular SSID. So the 40 AP model is 40 AP 221E, and we have mentioned that it should be auto. Auto means it will take all SSIDs, or else we can also mention specific SSIDs for specific APs. Now this is done. So it's very simple. You just have to create SSID profiles and assign it to the access point. Okay, and on the access point configuration, it's very simple. You just have to mention the WAN IP address of the controller. In this case, the controller is this FortiGate 200D, and the WAN IP address we already saw. So the AP configuration is done, and once that AP configuration is done, you will see that AP in under manage 40 APs waiting to be authorized. Okay, once we authorized, you can assign a profile, and it will reboot, and it will start broadcasting that SSID. Okay, So I have also asked one of our colleagues from Fortinet to connect some clients, so you can see, okay, our client is connected on remote AP, and the IP address of that client is 192.168.100.3 inside our DHCP range. Okay, you can see this, and it is connected to the FortiAP F221 ETF 1806 9613, which is our managed FortiAP. Okay, 18069613. So now this is very simple. Okay, very simple. Now you just have to create policies. That's it. You just have to create policies to allow traffic from your remote AP to your LAN network. Okay, and from your LAN network to the remote AP if two-way communication is needed. And alternatively, you will also have to create a policy from your remote AP to WAN. Okay, we have a default policy which allows all interfaces to go to the WAN. So I didn't explicitly mention any particular policy, but this is to allow LAN network, our AP interface to communicate with our LAN interface, and our LAN interface to communicate with remote AP interface. Okay, so here this is our LAN network PC. So if you remember the IP address correctly, so we'll just try to ping this IP address 192.168.300.3. Okay, I have to check whether ping is enabled or not. So I think ping is not enabled on that Mac. So we'll just filter out some traffic. We'll go to log and report. Before I take you through the logs, I want to show you the VPN events. Uh, sorry, the Wi-Fi events. So here you can see that AP connected 5 hours ago. Okay, and here you can see the source of the IP is a public IP. So it is the colleague's public IP that it is being seen. Once it is authorized, I am seeing the private IP of that particular access point. Okay, so here you can see, okay, and the operating country it's showing as the default as GB, Great Britain. Okay, but once that but once a profile was applied, so if you can, if I am able to show you, okay, now, okay, okay, now you can see the operating country as AE. Why? Because in our wireless controller we have assigned this particular AP profile, and we have selected the country region as United Arab Emirates. So this is not a default profile. So in the default profile, it was a different country. That is the reason when the AP joined, it was showing the operating country as GB. So here, if we see more Wi-Fi events, okay, client IP detected. So client IP interface, you can see the client is connected 192.168.100.3. So this AP can be sent anywhere in the world. Okay, he just has to connect it to a network, and then a client has to connect it. A client has to connect to that particular access point, and it will directly connect to the FortiGate corporate network. Okay. Now, one very important thing, by default, this particular communication from the remote user sitting anywhere in the world with a remote AP, okay, is in clear text. Okay. So here, if we see config, okay, our default profile, which is edit FAP. This is our this is the profile that is applied to the access point. So if you can see here, okay, the default connection is clear text. set DTLS policy clear text. Okay. Now you just need to simply change this to, we'll see the options, we'll say IPsec VPN. Okay, that's it, done. Okay, now whatever communication is initiated from that particular remote user to the corporate, everything will be encrypted. Okay, so no need for you to create any VPNs, no need for any client side any client side installation, any client side configuration. So if you have some top management users and they don't want to install anything, or you don't want to give any username and password, or he just wants to have a no fuss connection, he does not want to do anything on his own, so you can also give a pre-configured AP to that particular user, ask him to connect at his home and connect all the clients to this particular access point. That's it, finish. And automatically he will be able to communicate with the corporate network in a secured manner. Okay, so by default it is clear text, but you can, with just one command, you can change it from clear text to IPsec VPN, and there is no need for creating any IPsec VPN. Okay, there is no need to create any IPsec VPN. These are all different VPNs, not for the access points. Okay, so there are no VPNs created for access points for IPsec. Okay, it will dial it on its own to the FortiGate. So it's just one simple command. There is no there is no configuration needed for securing the tunnel apart from that one command. So we'll just this is, I think this is the client, right? Okay, this is 100.2. So we will just connect source 10.200 sorry 192.168.100.3. I think it's 100.2. Has it changed? Okay, so 100.2. So let's try pinging. I'm not so sure whether Mac has ping enabled by default, but let's try this. Okay, so we are able to ping. I think that was an incorrect IP. So 192.168.100.2. So I am sitting here at my house, okay, connecting to our firewall in Red Vault. I have one other colleague sitting at his house, okay, nowhere related, okay, no connectivity, just that AP automatically dialing a connection back to this FortiGate and able to interact with our corporate network from his home, okay, in a secured way with VPN enabled, with communication enabled. So this is a very user friendly way of connecting a remote user uh, to the corporate network if the client does not want to utilize a VPN, or there is no way to install a client on that particular user. Okay, or any other use case where the top management requires a particular device to directly connect to the corporate network in a secured way. So that's it, guys. So you can see the communication happening. Okay, so I think I got a response from my colleague that he has connected to one more device. So let's see. So we'll go to monitor and we'll say Wi-Fi client. This is my test VPN test setup. This is the setup on which the AP is connected. So right now it's only one device. I think it's not connected as of now. So you can see this is the client IP, and I was able to connect it from my Redington's network to his network at his house, and vice versa. And you can also see his particular traffic from his system going out to internet from my firewall. Okay, you can see the current logs, right? It's 6 seconds ago. Okay, so he is browsing, he is connecting to different services from our firewall. Okay, so if I want, I can restrict all the access, I can put security profiles, I can secure the traffic generated from that particular device. So guys, that's it. We have a quiz now. So before that, I will just see if we have any questions. So, and I will just address those questions very quickly, and then we'll move on to the quiz. Please stay tuned with us.